Hello. It is Monday afternoon, and we're down to 5 days left until the wedding, which is not very many days, and I still have a lot, I feel like I still have a lot to do, so I'm I'm in crazy wedding mode, and my stress level is relatively high, although I think compared to other brides, it's not that bad. So I'm trying to keep it all in perspective. Um, I've gotten a ton done today so far, though. I mean, it's not even 1 o'clock yet. And this morning, I was determined that I was going to go to the gym. I had planned on going to the gym on Saturday, but I also had to drive up to the place where we're having the wedding and bring the final payment. And that took a lot longer than I had expected because I didn't have an actual appointment. And so when I got there, the woman was in a meeting, and so I had to wait, and so I ended up not having time. But I was determined to go today, and so I got up this morning. Actually, Eric's alarm, he had already gotten up, but his alarm went off at 8 o'clock anyway, so that woke me up and kind of forced me to get up. So I got up, and he got ready for work and was off, and I got ready and went to the gym, and had a good probably a little over an hour that I was there. I spent about a half an hour on a recumbent bike, and then about a half an hour on a treadmill. So that was good. And I didn't overdo it, which I think is key. Or I don't feel like I overdid it. I didn't try to run on the treadmill, which was my downfall last time. And so I'm not feeling terrible at this point. So I came back, and before taking a shower, went and put laundry in the washer, and then took a shower, and so I now have the third load of laundry in the washer, and I needed to fix my veil. I had to sew it onto combs so that I'd be able to put it in my hair, so I just finished doing that, which is great. And the veil that I'm wearing it was my mom's veil originally, and then when my older sister got married, she took the veiling and had it redone, and made into a shorter veil. So I'm using the same veil. So that was kind of cool. So I've done that, and just kind of gotten a lot of stuff done so far, but my other big task for today is I now have the wagon for Flora, the flower girl, which is a very appropriate name for a flower girl. Anyway, so I now have the wagon that I borrowed from my church, from the nursery at my church, and I have the decorations for it, and I need to decorate it. So that's my other big project for today. And then I also have a whole bunch of actual work that I need to get done. And my goal is to be done with all of my actual work by the end of Wednesday. And that means that I'm done with everything through next Sunday. So basically 2 weeks. So that I don't have to worry about anything while I'm away on my honeymoon. So it's kind of a lot. Kind of a lot to do, and not as much time as I would like in order to do it all, but I'm sure that it'll be fine and it'll get done. And yesterday, Sunday, was my bridal shower, which my mom, I don't know exactly how much help, but I think significant help from my sisters and my sister-in-law, they threw it for me. my older sister came in from Oregon on Saturday, and so I went with my dad to the airport and picked her up and went out to dinner with my family and everything. So yeah, so they threw that for me yesterday, and it was quite an event. It was fun. There was penguin stuff everywhere. They really ran with that. And I want to show. So my older sister, flew in from Oregon and brought with her 24 of these boxes that she made. They're made out of origami. So, and I think that they're just really cool. They were different. There were different patterns, and the penguins looked slightly different and stuff. So they're these boxes, and and on the inside it says Eric and Annie 2012. And they had Hershey Kisses in them. So she transported these in her, and she had a carry-on rolling suitcase and a backpack, and that was all she brought with her. So like she brought them, she bought them flat, and then she folded them into the box shape. But like the penguins were all made and everything. So apparently it was like a shoe box. So that was like half of her carry-on suitcase. So that was cool. So like at every place there was one of those. So that was just kind of a neat thing. And there was penguin balloons and penguin napkins, and my sister-in-law made an igloo cake with gummy penguins on it that I have here. Eric and I had some of it last night. There was just penguin stuff everywhere. So that was fun. But I've realized that it's hard being the center of attention like that. And I don't really like that kind of sustained attention on me. And like having to play the kind of games that we played. Like one of the games was Eric's mom had questions about Eric, like to see how well I know him. And my mom did this game with my sister-in-law at her bridal shower. So like I knew that it was coming, partly because Eric kind of wasn't keeping it a secret that his mom had called and asked for help with questions. But the questions that were asked were not the type of questions that I would have expected. Like, they were a lot harder and a lot more vague, a lot of them, than I think they should have been. So it was just a little bit like that game was not as much fun as I might have hoped. But anyway, so that was good. And I got a lot of wedding gifts. Yeah, people who get gifts off the registry are fantastic. People who don't go off the registry, it's a little bit more hit or miss. So, yeah. We thought that by actually registering, we would eliminate getting gifts that we didn't actually want or need. But that, like, it was kind of only about, like, 50% of the people at the bridal shower actually got us stuff off the registry. So, yeah. So that's pretty much the wedding stuff that I have just spent almost 10 minutes rambling on about. Health-wise, I'm doing okay. I think I'm kind of not letting myself realize if I'm not feeling well, or, I mean, I've had some days where I've had really bad headaches, and, like, I can't really ignore those. It's hard to totally ignore pain. It's hard, like, there are certain things that it's just hard to ignore. And I'm drinking more coffee than I really should be, but yeah, so I'm hoping that I'll, be able to stop that once I get stuff done today, maybe, and wean myself down the rest of the week. I also am having, so overall, my new port is fantastic, and like on a regular basis, I think of how much I love this port, and like I've had no major issues with it so far, and like it always gives a blood return when I, pull back, and like it's just been great. But it has not been a very easy port to access for me. Like in the past, my previous ports I've never really had issues with, but this one I seem to have trouble getting into the right spot. And I think part of it is that it's a double lumen port, so like it's harder to figure out where the center of each septum is. But today, so I'm going back and forth, so I'm only using one lumen right now because I'm not on antibiotics. So I'm only using one lumen. So I'm going back and forth. Each time I access, I go back and forth between the lumens so that I don't have to worry about remembering to flush the other one or whatever. So today I was accessing the inner one, and I tried doing it, and I thought it was in the right spot, and it only went in about halfway. So I had to then like start all over again. I had to get a new dressing kit, and like it was this whole ordeal. My poor port, like it's sore now because I got stuck a number of times, but it just was not the easiest thing. The outer lumen seems easier for me to figure out. So I'm hoping that as time goes on, I'll get to know it better and it'll become easier, but so far that has not been the case. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is there. It's also kind of askew. It's not in straight, straight like that. It's kind of slanted like that. So it's a little bit harder to figure out, but I know that over time I'll also build up scar tissue in the spots where I access, so it'll be easy for me to spot those places. Anyway, so that's what's going on with me, and I better finish this up and get back to all of my stuff, all my list of stuff that I have to do. So I will hopefully do another video later this week. But if somehow I don't manage to do that, and I don't make another video before the wedding, then the next time I talk to all of you, I will be married, which is a really strange thing to think about. I think I've been caught up in the planning of the wedding, and it's just now starting to kind of sink in the, kind of what that means and all of that. I mean, I know what it means, but it's just, it's a weird thing to really think about. So anyway, so I hope you're all doing well and having a good Monday, and I will talk to you all soon.